I love American politics. It's just so much fun. So right now in the United States, in the global American empire, back in Washington, right, all kinds of interesting things are happening, but principally among them is the coming defenestration of Joe Biden. Huh? Defenestration is such a cool word, by the way. It means throwing somebody out of a window, which is what they used to do in the Middle Ages with various people for various reasons. And what I love is the fact that they did it so often that they came up with a word for it, defenestration. Yeah, and that's what we're seeing now with Joe Biden. They're getting ready to throw him out the window, the deep state, and all the little factions behind the scenes. Because we're in the Brezhnev stage era of the global American empire, where we have to sort of like read the tea leaves, read the little signs, like little things here and there, little news articles or little TV shows or what have you. And the moment I knew that they were getting ready to get rid of Joe Biden was when CNN started reporting all this stuff about, the classified documents. The classified documents. Come on, man. These classified documents, I'd bet, they're trivial stuff. I mean, it's stuff like, who ordered lattes for the National Security Council meeting and shit like that. I mean, trivial crap. Because in Washington, they always err on the side of caution and they just classify everything, okay? And of course, the laws about mishandling classified documents are so elastic that, you can get anybody for anything, I mean, it's forget about that. It's not an issue about the actual law breaking that Joe Biden has committed, because he's done a hell of a lot worse insofar as his business dealings with Ukraine and China and all the rest of it, the money laundering, the fact that the guy has been a career politician all of his life and he lives in a huge mansion with a collection of Corvettes and shit. Come on, man. I mean, wake up, right? So this stuff is piddly. It's just the first step in the defenestration of Joe Biden. Okay? And I've been thinking about it, and I have a pretty clear idea of what is probably going on behind the scenes. See, because Joe Biden announced that he wanted to run in 2024, and that must have horrified the deep state. They were like, no, we don't want that, right? And so a lot of different factions behind the scenes are probably thinking to themselves, yeah, we'll push this story about the classified documents as a warning to the Biden administration. But I actually think that this is really Obama. Hear me out. See, Obama, alone among ex-presidents, has been incredibly busy behind the scenes with his little schemes and little this and that and the other. I mean, I despise Obama, and he's been carrying out all these little political plays behind the scenes in that passive-aggressive, hypocritical way that the son of a bitch has. I mean, I really despise Obama, but he's pushing to get rid of Joe Biden now, okay? Because he realizes that he has a short window of opportunity to get rid of Joe Biden and have Kamala Harris firmly ensconced in the Oval Office. Because that's what Obama wants. Obama has said, he said it on Stephen Colbert's show actually, that what he would really like to be is just to be like behind the scenes, whispering in the ear of the president and telling the president what to do, okay? I mean, come on, what kind of passive-aggressive bullshit is that? But that's the kind of guy that he is. But he said so in public. He wants Kamala Harris to be president because Kamala Harris, she's a fucking idiot. I mean, simple as that. I mean, have you heard her speak? When she says just... It's just like, first of all, the woman is probably high on marijuana most of the time. I mean, you can tell. I mean, like, we all went to fraternity houses, right, and saw a bunch of guys just spouting out bullshit when they were high as fuck. Yeah, that's Kamala Harris. She's probably stoned or lobotomized, one or the other, or perhaps both. Who knows? But the point is, she is a creature of Barack Obama. He wants her as president so she can run in 2024. And the thing is, see, the deep state doesn't want Joe Biden to continue to be president. The Clintonista factions and other factions, what they really want is Gavin Newsom to be president, right? But Gavin Newsom is governor of California. He is not the vice president. The vice president today is Kamala Harris. And the thing is, see, there isn't enough time between now and the primary season to get rid of Kamala Harris, replace her with Gavin Newsom, and have Gavin Newsom replace Biden. Those steps, which are basically the steps that happened back in 1972 to 74, where Richard Nixon started being attacked over Watergate in 72. In 73, they got rid of Spiro Agnew by way of the tax bullshit, and they put in Gerald Ford, and then they got rid of Richard Nixon in August of 74, and had Gerald Ford be president for the remainder of the term, right? They don't have enough time now to do that move of getting rid of Kamala, putting in Gavin Newsom, and then having Gavin Newsom run in 2024. There's just not enough time. And there's frankly not enough dirt, hard dirt, on Kamala Harris. I mean, all you've got on Kamala Harris, really, is that she gave blowjobs to a bunch of politicians on her way up. That's pretty much it. It's not enough to get rid of her, okay? And Obama and the Obama faction, they probably realize this. And so that's why they're trying to get rid of Joe Biden now with this first salvo. Because this first salvo, the classified documents, you notice it's all over the mainstream media, right? Why do you think? Because it's being pushed by the Obama faction and all the little Obama agents scurrying around. They want to get rid of Joe Biden now, in this year, 2023, so that they can have Kamala Harris as the incumbent president. Of course, she's going to win the Democratic nomination and run in November 2024, and they're going to do other shenanigans in the election of 2024, and ta-da, you have President Kamala Harris for a good long while. You see what I'm saying? Now, insofar as Joe Biden is concerned, you don't think that they want to defenestrate him, that this is just a one-off kind of scandal, right? That they're getting rid of, that they're bringing up this classified document stuff, and it's just going to be like a one-off. No. See, this is how it's going to play out. First, it's going to be these classified documents. Then it's going to be some money thing, like with Hunter Biden, and we're already seeing little tendrils of that stuff coming out, with these checks for $50,000 rentals, paid to Joe Biden, and all kinds of weird stuff going on in that direction. Yeah, and then when they get really, really serious, they're going to bring up the sniffing. They're going to bring up, how Joe Biden's own daughter in her diary, which is indisputably hers, talked about how she would shower with him when she was 9 or 10 years old or something like that, which is, as a parent of a child that age, I find horrifying. I mean, I find that really fucking disgusting, right? And the fact is that Joe Biden would do that. Well, it just proves to me that the guy is just scum. I mean, he's just an evil fuck as far as I'm concerned, but he is a doddering old man, okay, which might play to his benefit. And it could be that as this escalation of scandals continues, publicly, privately, behind the scenes, the Obama faction basically tells them, look, it's time for you to go and step aside for Kamala, or else we're really going to hurt you. Hurt you because you're going to be a doddering old man, but your brother, your children, will go after them. We'll even go after Jill Biden, his wife. And so I think that that's going to be like an escalation of scandals engineered by the Obama administration. And the deep state will be kind of like behind this, but they don't really want Kamala. They want Gavin Newsom. But they're not going to have enough time to put in Gavin Newsom. You see? They want Gavin Newsom because, he is more charismatic, even though he's charismatic in this weird robotic sense. He reminds me of the antagonist in Terminator 2, the T-1000 robot. He's robotic, he's just this plastic figure, I mean, if somebody told me that he came out of Boston Dynamics, I wouldn't be a bit surprised, because the guy, look at him, he looks like a robot, and with his creepy little smile and his perfect hair, which I kind of envy, to tell you the truth, his perfect hair and his perfect face and his creepy little smile, where his mouth smiles, but his eyes don't, right? The guy's a robot. And I think the Clintonista faction and other factions in the deep state want him, but like I said, they're not going to have enough time. And I think that this ramp up of scandals is going to be remarkably quick. Because I think that the Obama administration realizes that they cannot afford to wait around until the primary season of the Democratic Party. They got to get rid of Biden now. Because a lot of people are saying that in the Democratic primary season, that's when all the candidates will appear of the different factions and we'll be able to figure out who is the best candidate and they'll pick that guy and get behind that guy. I don't think so. I mean, let me phrase that. I think that that's their plan, but I think that the Obama faction realizes that they have to get ahead of that. They have to lock in their, woman, Kamala Harris, who ticks off all kinds of boxes. Now, does she? First woman president, first president of color. Oh no, second woman of color, but first Indian president. All kinds of box ticking, right? So, if they can get rid of Joe Biden now, that's what the Obama faction is thinking. That's what Obama is thinking, because Joe Biden has proven to be a complete bust. And the great thing is that if they get rid of Joe Biden, they can blame everything on Joe. There's this, how can I put it? Okay, I'm very excited about this because it's all very interesting, because it used to be back in the 70s that you do Kremlinology and figure out what the Kremlin was up to from these little clues. But now, in the global American empire, we have to look at all the clues coming out of the mainstream media and indirect stuff to figure out what's going on. But I think that basically, this is the game plan. They defenestrate Joe Biden this year and lock in Kamala Harris as president. She wins the primaries, of course, as the incumbent, and she's put up there in November of 2024, and more electoral shenanigans happen, and she is elected in a landslide. And Obama will continue to be able to be president, de facto president, from behind the curtain. I think that that's the game plan, and I think that it's Obama, who is pushing this. If you start seeing more scandals, wall to wall, on American news coverage, more scandals, escalating scandals, first the papers, then the money situation, and then eventually the child abuse, because that's what we're talking about. I think that eventually the Biden crime family will realize that the game is up, and Joe Biden will announce that, because he has cognitive problems because of his age and whatnot, it's time for him to go. That's how they're going to push him out that window. And I think it's inexorable. I think that, how can I put it? I would be willing to bet 9 to 10 that by the 31st of December of 2023, Joe Biden is no longer president of the United States. I'd be incredibly surprised if he was. And it's because of Obama. Know what's going on.